A-K-E. Um, Let me go to another Bill out of Missouri. Bill, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Jesse, how are you doing, sir?
All is well, Bill.
This is wait, are we talking? This is Phil. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's Phil, not Bill?
Like Dr. Phil.
Oh, he has.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. He has Bill here.
That's all right, Jesse. Either way, thank you. By the way, I really appreciate everything you do. I've called before,
Okay.
learned some stuff, but just gonna be honest. I disagree with you on one thing when you say that we do not have free will.
Okay. And why do you disagree?
Well, because therefore, someone could not take any accountability for their action.
That's the best thing they can ever do.
Well, if I'm drinking this beer right here, you don't think I could set it down? Let's just hypothetically. Or, I got in a car, beat somebody up. I mean...
So you believe that you believe you have a free will, Bill? I mean, Phil?
Yeah, I believe I do.
And why do you believe you have a free will?
Because I'm not out. I don't go with all of the temptations that tempt me. Sometimes if I'm in a relationship and I see this or that, I don't go over there and do that. Or I don't go with everything the devil thought put in me,
Okay, so I have proof that you don't have a free will.
Give me the business.
Stop yourself from thinking.
Okay.
Never have an anger thought or lonely thought or lost thought or depression thought or any kind of thought again. Never have another one.
Okay. That seems a little over the top. I know we spoke briefly, I think the first time I called, about practical thoughts.
Let me go quickly back to Phil. Phil talking about free will. And Phil, you believe you have a free will, right?
I do.
Can you will yourself to never get angry again?
That's I don't know about that. I mean, I've been trying real hard and been doing the silent prayer, and honestly, that silent prayer has been helping me out a bunch. It really is amazing.
And so if you have a free will, why don't you will yourself to never get angry again?
So you got me thinking, Jeff. I'm not going to lie. Okay, well, what's the difference, in my opinion, between getting angry and the proper kind? You don't think there's a right way to, let's say, assert dominance, so to speak? Someone's robbing a gas station, and I come in there and take care of business, and I throw the guy down on the ground. Wouldn't that be some form of anger? Maybe that's not anger. Maybe that's just taking care of something that needs to be taken care of.
Well, you can take care of that without being angry. There's never, I'm telling you this too, Phil.
I agree.
There's never, ever, ever in a situation, no matter what, there's never a reason to be angry.
And I agree with you there. Now, that I agree with you. But on the thing, Jesse, what about if I've murdered someone and I said, hey, couldn't help myself, Jesse, that wasn't me. Doesn't that just take away all your lives or accountability? So therefore you don't have to be accountable for any wrongdoing that's done?
By admitting that it wasn't you, you'll be telling the truth. It wasn't you. And it never has been, never will be you. It's something else that's controlling you.
Well, how come sometimes, let's just use this for example. I'm smoking a cigarette right now. I theoretically could put the cigarette down. I know because I've done it.
And then you picked it right back up, too.
Might have been 6 months or a year.
So you still picked it up.
I made the decision where I said, you know what, I want to smoke. I'm done with this quitting.
You didn't make that. Anyway. You didn't make the decision that you want to go back and smoke again. Your misery made it for you. You are just thinking that you made it because you didn't see what was driving you. You did not make the decision to go back to smoking.
Doesn't that sound like a victim? A little bit.
What's
that? Sound like a little bit of the left. It just to me sounds like a little bit of a victim. Like I couldn't help it. I just went back to smoking. I can't help it. And I'm using this as an example.
Can you help yourself? Can you help yourself?
I think I could.
If you could, why don't you put it down and never pick it up again? And never pick up anything to replace it with?
Well, I think it's a little bit of it's a choice, weighing my odds.
So if it were your choice, why would you choose to pick up something that's going to destroy your body?
Well, I like it because, not the destroying body part. I like smoking, for instance, and I also like, let's say I was a...
You only like smoking because smoking cover up your pain.
Yeah, it does feel good, but also if I fix on an engine or work on a computer, that's some other hobbies. But I could decide that day, let's say, do I want to work on the computer for a recreational, healthy habit, or, whatever, or I could technically work on my engine.
And what does that have to do with free will?
It's free will. I get to pick when I wake up in the morning. I could have 2 jobs here. I can prioritize them. I could say I want to work on the cars for the rest of my life, or I could work on the computer. Now, maybe I'm reducing this down to a simple form.
What does practical things have to do with free will?
That's the gray line that I think I called about a few months ago, where the practical things there's a gray line, I believe, where it's hard to distinguish. I guess if you include sin, would that be correct?
What?
If you're including sin and with the practicality, wouldn't that make more sense? Because you always say practical, and I'm trying to differ between practical and non-practical thoughts when you say all thoughts.
Is working on a car a practical thing? Or is
I think so. I think we could all agree on that.
It's right. And so what does that have to do with the thoughts that define who you are?
Well, smoking cigarettes could technically be practical.
And there's nothing practical about you smoking cigarettes. You're smoking cigarettes to forget and not to remember.
Might be a little bit of a relief, but yeah, I agree with you.
Might it be or isn't? Is it a little bit of relief for you?
Yeah.
And so if you had a free will, why can't you create a relief without a cigarette?
It's a good point. I don't know the answer to
that was a question.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know the answer to it.
Because you don't have a free will.
But what if I wanted to have the S word with my wife? Couldn't I decide tonight's not the night?
You may decide tonight, not tonight, but early in the morning.
Oh, I love you, Jesse. All right, yeah, just give me something to think about. Maybe I'm overcomplicating things. Usual.
Stay out of your head. You see it.
I appreciate you, Jesse.
All right, Phil. Thanks for calling.
All right, buddy.
Bye.